Hi, I'm Dr. Sina McCullough. Thanks for joining me today. I brought this impromptu video to you because I am so excited. I have not eaten out at a restaurant in over 4 years because I've not been able to find any restaurants that are aligned with my principles. That all changed this last weekend when I happened to stumble upon a new restaurant out here in Richmond called Organic Krush. The food is so good, everything is organic, that I knew I just had to stop what I'm doing and send this message to you in this video to share with you what I found. I am blessed today to have the co-founder of Organic Krush with me, Michelle Walrath. She is the mother of 4 amazing children. She has a passion for nourishing, delicious food and for helping people on their health journey. She co-created several documentaries, including Set Up, GMO OMG, and The Devil We Know. As a lifelong health advocate, Michelle was frustrated about the severe lack of healthy options on the go. She realized that parents were left with the choice of spending hours preparing food or settling for fast food that left them feeling tired, sluggish, and weighed down. So Michelle identified the gap in the market, and she created Organic Krush, a fully organic, healthy lifestyle eatery with options ranging from organic coffee and breakfast to family dinners and even fully catered meals. So welcome to the program, Michelle.
Thank you so much. This is so exciting. You made us sound so official.
Oh. Well, I'm just so excited. My children and I have longed to eat out for years. Like I said, it's been 4 years. And we finally found your restaurant. And since we found you last weekend, we've already eaten there twice and we've ordered our Thanksgiving turkey from you.
Yay! I love that because eating out is so rewarding sometimes, even though I love to stand around my kitchen and cook, eating out is sometimes just so invaluable for family time.
Exactly. And like you said, though, it is really difficult when maybe if you're sick, you're trying to reverse a disease, you're trying to prevent a disease, you're just trying to feed your children a healthy meal without having to labor in the kitchen for hours. It is really hard to find good food out there, especially in the fast food and the restaurant industry.
Yes, agree.
So your restaurant is all organic. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to give a tiny bit of background about myself in that it plays into how an organic restaurant became so meaningful to me. When I was always interested in health, I came from an Italian-Irish family. Food was very essential, and we had a homeopathic doctor who guided my parents in how to raise us. I had 4 sisters. There were 5 girls in my crazy household. And as I went through my teen years and I kind of got over the fact that we were like the weird household, I became more and more connected to food as medicine. And I became a health major, a health and women's studies major in college. I went to University of Richmond, thus the Richmond location. And what happened was I was so into health and I was so into the education part of sharing health. I had my first child on the younger side. I was 24, and when I was pregnant with her, I was in a Whole Foods one night doing my grocery shop, and I came upon a speaker and a couple who'd been in the environmental world for a long time, and they were speaking about this concept of body burden, that what you put into and on your body can either lift you up or weigh you down. And after many minutes of listening to them and then diving deep on the topic, which body burden isn't like a very searchable topic, but for me, it became a life mantra that I was going to do everything I could for my family and myself to keep a low body burden so that I felt good every day, but also attributed to a lifelong feeling of good health. So fast forward over the years, I loved cooking for my kids. I have 4 amazing kids now. They're ages 10 to 18, and we still have a deep passion for food, and cooking was always central. But what happened is it got so busy trying to raise kids, get them to all their sports. My husband traveled a ton for work, so he wasn't around. And then I was finding I couldn't get them to all their activities and get dinner on the table. And one summer, 6 years ago, my good friend Fran and I were taking our kids to summer concerts. It was such an adventure for us. We were driving all around the East Coast, Taylor Swift in one direction, and it was deplorable what our options were for food. And it was the first time I lost control because when it was in my neighborhood and my environment, I could figure it out. And it was just so upsetting to think about feeding our car full of teenage girls hormones. Like I said, how can I give them food day after day that is gonna burden their body? So in one car ride that summer, I said to Fran, I was like, I've always had this dream of a healthy restaurant and a way to have a community come together. And she said, oh, well, I have a shopping center and there's an abandoned restaurant in it. She and her husband are in some real estate. And that was it. We walked in like 3 days later to this abandoned old deli. And we sat there and we're like, okay, can we do this? And we said yes, even though we'd never run a restaurant before. I'd been a foodie at restaurants, but I'd never operated a restaurant. And we talked to a friend's chef and he got so excited. And we sat there for days and weeks making lists. And one side of the list would be everything that the chef was allowed to put into the food. It had to be everything organic, and it was everything from the oils to the spices to the flours, and of course all the produce and dairy and meat. And so then the other list was like none of these things, and I would list, on this side would be the mayonnaise and the lard and the ketchup and the blah blah blah. The list went on. So he was just dumbfounded by us. He's like, I don't know what you two girls are doing, but okay, we're gonna do this. And so the organic part for me was my best ability to share food with my family and the community that was labeled organic and stood for a quality of food that kept a body burden low. So it was, even though this is not simple, it was very simple in my mind. Get the best quality items in. The organic label was, the strongest that we could do to keep all chefs and anyone ordering food honest. I read every single inventory that goes through our store, every single invoice, and I see everything labeled, and that's how I control and know that the product coming in is labeled and free of of many harmful and chemicals and pesticides and GMOs that it can be.
That's fantastic.
That answered the question.
Yes, I love your story, because you sound like a lot of moms that I know, and myself included, where the food is not healthy. The conventional mainstream food, it's not healthy. It's making our kids sick. It's filled with pesticides, herbicides, added hormones, GMOs, you name it. And so you don't want to feed your kids that, but what are you going to do? And so I love this, because your story speaks to the power of the individual.
Yeah.
Like how much we can actually do as individuals to not only help ourselves, help our family, but to help our community.
Yep.
That's exactly what you did. You took that next step in your journey to help your family, but to help all those who are around you. Because you don't just have one location, right? You're not just in Richmond. Where else are you?
We have 4 locations open on Long Island, and then the Richmond one just opened this summer. What started to happen, within weeks of opening, the community came out and they'd walk into our restaurant and be so grateful and so appreciative and so communicative. They'd be like, what about your vanilla? Is that free of blah, 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 blah? And what about your steak that you get? Is it grass-fed, grass-finished? And it became this dialogue of what is the best quality of everything to get. And, without the support of a community, no matter how strong my belief was in food, it wasn't going to work. So it was the fact that so many people around us were coming to us and saying, I believe in this. This is what we wanted for our families. Would you try making this kind of muffin? Because I can't eat sugar. And then so many conversations just happened right within this little cafe restaurant that were so inspiring and that drove us to keep going. So we have the 4 locations on Long Island, and then Richmond we opened because Richmond is near and dear to where my roots were in health education. I have a twin sister. We went to college together at University of Richmond, and she stayed living in Richmond. So she has 4 girls that she's raising right there in Short Pump. I stayed very close with my bosses and my teachers at University of Richmond. So that network was just solid and strong, and we felt like, hey, let's bring it to another important community and share what we've been learning and what we think is a need in a lot of cities around America, around the world probably, but we're tackling America right now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So do you have plans to expand to other locations?
We do. There in the short term, we have a couple more that will open in the tri-state, and I think we're going to push for that. We built this 6,000 square foot commissary on Long Island, and with that, we could serve about probably 20 restaurants in the tri-state. The commissary is to make it a pure food, very highly certified and Board of Health and FDA and very like clean, pristine facility to do the juice and the gluten-free bakery and which we have to talk about, and the bone broths and keep everything very organized. So that's been really rewarding. That just opened this summer. And then same in Richmond and Short Pump, we built the commissary as part of the restaurant there. So we have these beautiful facilities in the back. You might be able to get a tour one day, Sina, but you can't see it from the front, but there's a beautiful kitchen and really clean and pristine for production.
That's fantastic. And what I love about your eatery is that not only is everything organic, like you said, all the way down to the spices, everything is organic, but I also love the fact that the water, I found out yesterday, is triple filtered.
Yes. So
they serve triple filtered water for free that you can get, but they also wash the fruits and vegetables in triple filtered water.
Yes.
I mean, as you're very well aware, the city waters are filled with toxins.
Chlorine and toxins, yeah. Our managers there, Derek and Jason, did such a good job getting that store organized and ready for the best possible product we can put out.
Yeah, and it shows. And honestly, when we were considering trying your restaurant out, my husband brought home the menu. He stumbled upon your restaurant, brought me the menu, which I have here.
That's it.
I was highly skeptical, after 4 years of not finding any restaurants where I agreed what I would eat with or bring my kids there to eat. I was so skeptical. I looked at the menu. I started texting him. He left for work. I started texting him while he's in a meeting, and I was like, this may be a possibility. Like, I was so excited. I get on the phone with one of your employees at the Short Pump location.
Yes.
I start asking her questions. I'm like, what are the ingredients? Will you give me the ingredient list? Not all restaurants will actually give you ingredient lists.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
There was full transparency. She spent an hour on the phone with me going through every single ingredient. And then when there was an ingredient that I wasn't sure about, like brown sugar, I wasn't sure if that had grain in it because sometimes it could have grain. So she actually gave me the name of the company that it's sourced from, so I could call the company and ask them, what are the ingredients? So everything.
Jessica is so amazing. I think she actually really loves and enjoys the customer service part of the job. And so she'll do that with anyone, talk them through, have the patience to help understand the menu, to understand the ingredients. She's such a treat.
Exactly. And that was the really cool part about it, is I didn't even tell her who I was. When I first called her on the phone, I just said,
you could have just been any Joe Schmo.
Yeah, she had no idea who I was, or that eventually I would interview you. Nothing.
Exactly. It was pure,
It was just pure from her heart. She wanted to help me figure out if my family.
We attract a lot of employees like that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And so what was really beyond cool is that while she's telling me the ingredient list, it gave me this perspective that not only is your restaurant all organic, but you really strive to use simple ingredients, like ingredients you can actually pronounce that would have been in your great grandparents' pantry. And I think that's remarkable, because that's a completely different component to tackle than to just go all organic.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole body burden concept for me. If it's food is something that an individual truly can control. The environment, which I'm a huge activist and involved in a lot of different areas of improving what's going on in the environment, and the 5G and the radiation stuff really concerns me. So I spend time on those. I'm trying to make changes at a government level. But food, very personally, everyone can start to make changes about how to lower their body burden through food. You may not be able to control, say, the fumes you breathe in if you work in Manhattan or the city, or or some of this the wireless radiation that's just so prevalent everywhere, but you can control, and anything you control, I would like to empower people to learn how to control it. I think if you can make daily little decisions that bring your body burden down, and those are absolutely the ingredients that are in your food, from the bakery items you eat to the processed food to the milkshake you drink. I mean, you can control that.
Exactly. And so I think this is just fantastic. One thing that I really promote is that people are the solution. And one way that you can be the solution, you can move the market, is to vote with your dollar.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's one reason why I wanted you to come on, so people can put a face to this lifestyle eatery,
yes.
become inspired, become encouraged that they know that there is now an all organic option.
Yeah.
Maybe in line.
And we want people to be a part. I mean, I know you feel lucky that you had Jessica in that time to talk, but we want people to be a part of the food conversation. First of all, we don't have all the answers. We do a lot of research, so we're trying to do the best of the best. But we also want people who have paleo needs, vegan needs, vegetarian needs, keto needs, to talk to us and say, here's the things I can have, here's the things I can't have. What can we build together? And our restaurant is built for customization, so it's never a bother to us if someone needs to spend extra time with us talking about what will satisfy their hunger and their belly and their needs.
Yeah, I love that.
And it makes our business model work. We need customers. We need people to come to us and talk to us about what makes them feel good, and then that helps our business continue to thrive.
Yeah, I love that concept, because on your menu you offer traditional gluten-free foods, vegan options, paleo options, dairy-free options. So you are listening to the consumer and you're trying to meet the demand. Like you said, you need us to actually speak so that you know what the demand is. And so I love this too, because I needed modifications. When I look through the menu, we have identified sensitivities and just foods that we don't even want to eat, ingredients we want to eat. And each time I've gone there, your team is highly receptive to making any kind of modifications that we need, as long as you have the ingredient in-house. So we changed the oil that was used to cook our eggs in, and the oil that's going to be on the turkey. We had sauces on, we didn't have certain sauces, you added different spices. So it's amazing the lengths that your eatery will go to make sure that the customers are heard and that they're happy with it and they feel good about their purchases and that they know it won't make them sick.
Yes, agree. And totally. And if a customer's going to take the time to chat with us, we will always find the time. If it's not, maybe in the middle of a busy lunch rush, we have to push the conversation till, mid-afternoon when it gets quieter in the restaurant, but we'll always be happy to do it.
Yes, this is fantastic. So I want to thank you for taking the risk. Starting a restaurant and eatery is a huge risk. And I want to thank you personally for taking the risk, so that not only you can lower your toxic burden, but you can help the rest of us still have the convenience of eating out and lowering our toxic burden while enjoying that social setting. And to all of you listeners, please, this is your opportunity. Vote with your dollar. Vote for Organic Krush. Try it out. All right. You just take the leap and go try. The prices are very reasonable considering what you're getting. All organic, triple filtered water that's cleansing your produce that they're cooking with, simple ingredients. It is worth the slightly extra cost of going to this restaurant, because you're lowering your toxic burden. You're feeding your kids food that you feel good about, that are aligned with your principles. Please, let's help her keep her business alive and hopefully prosper and, develop more chains so that more communities, more moms and dads and kids in other communities can actually enjoy food that they feel good about, and they don't have to stay home and be strapped in the kitchen all the time.
That would be amazing. Yes. We love building communities, so we look forward to lots of people in Short Pump and Richmond coming out to see us.
And where can they find you? Do you have a website? How could they learn more?
Good question. OrganicKrush.com, and that lists our different locations. And then we do a pretty good job on Instagram and Facebook, just keeping people posted about specials, and we introduce you to lots of our staff so it's more comfortable when you go in, and share special menu items, and just let you know who we are. So that's on Instagram and Facebook at Organic Krush.
Okay, fantastic. And Krush is spelled different. It's spelled with a K. So it's Organic Krush with a K.
Yes.
Organickrush.com. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
taking
Tina.
time out of your day. I really
So
appreciate
nice. You're such a good interviewer.
Oh, thanks. And until next time.
I'm going to come back to you for an interview because I want to put stuff on our website about what you're doing. So we'll trade notes soon.
Hey, I'm happy to help any way that I can. All right. And for all of you out there, please, like I said, vote with your dollars. You will not be sorry. The food is fantastic. It's like flavor explosions in your mouth, and you feel good about it. So anyways, check it out, organickrush.com, and maybe I'll see you there. All right. Bye-bye.